back here. We just made it back from Bali. So we are going to recap our trip.
Let's go.
Yeah. First of all, though, we just got into like a little thing. Like, if you have something in your teeth, do you tell your partner when you're like at dinner?
You should.
You should, but you haven't.
I didn't because it was just you and I.
And
I
then
didn't
when
want to
I
embarrass
asked
you.
him, I was like, man, I had like a big black thing in my tooth. Why didn't you say anything? And he said, it wasn't that big of a deal.
There was no one else
It was a
around. I don't
big
think there
deal.
was anyone else.
Yes, we were
Where
at
were
dinner with Mark at a really nice restaurant. And I had a big black thing in my tooth.
Well,
Look at
I do remember that. Well, I don't. It was.
Why
I didn't want
didn't
to
you
call you
tell
out
me?
in front of.
I
Maybe.
feel like it's not like it was a. I mean, I guess he kind of is a client, but
Yeah.
it's Mark.
Yeah.
So
I guess.
why weren't you like, hey, babe?
I don't know. I just didn't want you to feel. I feel like it was going to go away in any minute, and it was going to be like. Then you were like, it'll be gone, and then you won't have to feel like, oh man, how long was that there?
See, it's like the girls say yes, and the guys are like, oh God, I don't know. And we want to look out for our guys. Like, I can't be letting you walk around looking crazy with a big black pepper in your tooth.
That's true, because that's more of a reflection on you. They're like, how's this girl dating this guy?
Nice segue.
That's what it is.
Nice segue.
Yeah, because you don't want it to
So-
be. Yeah, you're like, I don't want to be dating or walking around with this guy.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me know that my hair was all messed up though. But now I'm like conscious. Do I need to wear these? You're not wearing them. You look great.
Thanks. It's because my hair's up today. Sometimes I wear the headphones and sometimes I don't. I just did Sean Kelly's podcast, and it was like, shout out to them. Their studio's badass. All the love to Sticky Paws. We love you, Sticky Paws. But when I went in there, they actually have like earbuds, so it was like nice,
Oh, they're, like,
especially
in
like
your-
for the
for your
girls.
hair.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
so we could still like have our, not have to like flatten out our hair.
Yeah, and you can hear fine.
Yeah, it felt a little weird like putting it in my ear because I'm like, man, I hope my ears are clean.
Yeah, when you pull it out to give it back to them. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're just like standing right there.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's talk about our trip.
All right.
John, just so you know, we're like how many days in? You were like 2-3 days in and trashed his phone.
Oh yeah. No, I lost my phone. My phone went swimming with me.
Yeah.
About 2 days into the trip, we were gone for what, like 10 days?
Yeah, I think I was there for almost like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. I think I was there for about 10 days, and about on the third day, I lost my phone. So I didn't have a phone for like a week.
So the whole time I'm on my phone,
And I'm just like
he's staring at me.
looking out the window. It was actually pretty liberating, I'll be honest with you. At first, I think I had that freak out moment of like, uh-oh, what am I going to do without a phone? I'm in Bali. There's not like a lot of like, I don't even think there's an Apple store there.
No.
So
Everyone has,
everything's on Samsung.
Samsung.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was like, well, I think I'll just try to ride this out. And then like palms were sweating, get a little like, I'd have like the phantom vibrates, like my leg vibrated a couple times when I didn't even have a phone.
So
It was
weird.
weird.
Yeah.
But after I broke through that, it was pretty liberating, actually. It was pretty amazing to just kind of soak it in, just be in the car. Because we drove a lot.
Yes.
And we were all over the island. The island's huge.
Yeah, I think it's a common misconception with Bali. People think that you just show up and it's, I mean, that's what I thought. I'm thinking like, oh, it's an island similar to Hawaii, but it's not.
Right. No,
It's huge.
And we were like all over it.
Yes.
So like when we started, the beginning of the trip was your match.
Yes. So I shot, which I've gotten like a ton of DMs about this, and I'll be posting my match photos and video soon. I think we have like one video from like one of the stages. So that was primarily the reason for going to Bali, is I got invited to a major match out there that was put on by Phoebe. Amazing job, Phoebe. It was probably one of the hardest matches I've ever shot. So a lot of distance. So for anyone that is a competitive shooter or shoots at all, shooting a match like this with targets that are, 25 plus yards with iron sights and 40, I should have trained a lot more. So,
But you did great.
I did it.
You finished.
I finished.
A very hard course.
Yes. And it was a very tough match.
There were like a lot of really good shooters there that didn't even finish.
Yeah, there were. I mean, I wouldn't say there was a lot of DQs, but I mean, when I show up to a match, clearly my number one priority is to finish safely. But it was very difficult. So it was humbling, I will say, like because I shot Puerto Rico earlier
Yeah.
and came home with second, and then went over to Bali, and I did not train like I should have.
Why? What were you doing?
I was hanging out with you in Dallas and working. And then, yeah, so I was like, oh, but I had an amazing team. Robert, he's an amazing shooter. So I was super grateful to be on his team. And he kind of guided me through like some of the more difficult stages. He'd be like, hey, what's your plan? So I'd tell him, he'd be like, no.
You're like intense when it comes to the competition. Like you didn't even want me there. So I came at the end.
I know. He wanted to come, and I was like, do not come during my match. Come after, because I already know the headspace I'm going to be in. Shooting's like a mental game. So if you shoot, then like mentally you have to be in the game.
Yeah.
So I didn't want any distractions.
No. So I was flying in while you were shooting.
Yeah, and then you went to closing ceremonies.
That's right. Can we talk about the flight for a second? Speaking of,
Yeah.
You had to fly through Korea
Yes.
because you had a firearm.
Yes.
You can't fly through Australia.
Which we are going to talk about, you guys, on another show, is like travel hacks and traveling with firearms to other countries. Because I always get a ton of questions like, how are you in Indonesia with guns?
Right. Well, I think a lot of people think you can't fly at all anywhere with a gun.
Yeah, and I fly all over the world with them.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah. So how long it took me 30 hours to go from Dallas to LA down to Sydney up to Bali.
Yes.
It was about 30 hours.
And it was similar. So going there, I already knew that I wasn't going to have a lot of time there to train before. So typically I would go a week prior just to like acclimate, test all my equipment, make sure I'm good to go, because the IPSC rules are different than what we shoot here in the States. But I was like on a time crunch. So I decided to fly first class so I could at least sleep on the 30 plus hours that it took me to get there. And I did not fly first class going home, and it was an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, same.
I was so uncomfortable.
I know. It was so it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Really? Mine was awful, I'm not going to lie. And usually I'm fine. Like I go all over the world, and I don't need to take anything to sleep. Like I can relax. I don't watch movies or TV. I'll read, but I can crash out.
I read 2 books on the way there.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Because one flight was the longest one flight I had was 16 hours.
That was your
from
long stretch.
LA to Sydney. It was 16 hours. And then on the way back, because little fun fact on flying through Australia, if your reservations aren't linked, if I had to book a flight out because I used miles on Delta. They didn't have a flight out of Bali to Sydney to get me home. So I had to book my own flight to get from Bali to Sydney, and then I was on Delta from Sydney to home.
By the way, you guys, Delta recommended that he break up his flight.
Yeah, they told me if you want to do this, book a separate flight if you can get out of Bali.
But what Delta did not tell him is when you book your separate flight into Australia, you'll need a visa to enter, because they're under the assumption that you're staying there even though he's connecting. But because it wasn't booked in one reservation, they wouldn't allow him to make the flight to Australia because he did not have a visa.
That's right. And they said, well, if you pull out your phone, you might be able to get the visa in time. It should take a couple hours to process, but you need your phone, and I didn't have a phone. So
he's stuck.
So I'm stuck. Luckily, I had my laptop because I pulled out my laptop, and I'm trying to do the visa thing. It's not working. They're saying that apparently to get the Australian visa, you can't do it without a phone. And then so I just texted you. I messaged you while I was on my laptop, like, I'm going to miss this flight because I'm not going to get a visa. And while I'm negotiating with the people there, you had already booked me a flight.
I said, no, you're not, baby. You're getting home.
Within 10 minutes, I was on Qatar Airlines, flying through Qatar to come home. So it was awesome. Thanks for saving the day.
Oh, of course.
It did really feel great to like know that you're like with someone that's like, I got it. I'm gonna help you. Like, cause I was in it, right? I was talking to this lady who's getting me to the manager. The manager's like, you're not going home tonight. And I'm like, yes, I am. I'm gonna figure this out. And you'd already figured it out for me.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
You do that a lot for me too. So you're welcome.
Thanks.
But I think so, yeah, traveling a lot, like you have to learn to redirect and do that, especially when you're flying with any types of weapons or firearms. It's not something that they typically see at the airport. So initially, some of the people there to help you, they kind of freak out because it's not something that they're used to dealing with. So when I was leaving Bali, I was flying Korea Air, and he's like, you are not getting on this flight with that gun. And I'm thinking, yes, I am. But you don't say that because you always want to be polite and nice. And he's like, how did you get this here? I wanted to be like, how the fuck do you think I got it here?
Right.
Like, I flew your airline here. So, yeah, it was. So you just allow yourself enough time and mentally go with like the patience to know that it may not go as planned.
But that's one of the things I love about you. Like traveling, there's always stuff that happens, delays, cancellations. You gotta have to go with the flow, and some people don't do well in that at all.
Yeah.
Travel is stressful. Everyone's on edge. I was walking through the airport this morning to get here, and this couple had twins. And the dad had the two car seats on those little like stroller, like the the carriers. So they had wheels, and the mom's pushing the double wide stroller, and they're like, you can just tell they're not happy. They're not talking to each other. He starts to like lay into her about something. She didn't respond to him, or something was going on. She's like, I just got these two kids in front of me. The guy's like trying to pull these things, and then I saw one of the car seats like tipped off the little carrier, so he's dragging it. I was like, oh man.
Did you offer to help?
I tried, but the guy, he was not in a good headspace. No.
So whenever I see, and I think it's coming from like a mom space, so going through security, if I ever see like a woman with a child, a car seat, carrier, stroller, anything, I always like offer to help.
Yeah, no,
I always want to be like, hand me the baby. No, I'm just kidding. But like I'll help with like when she's getting on the plane, like all that, because I traveled a lot with my kids when they were young, and I know like how difficult it is. So
no, you're awesome. But you also like, you just take it in stride. Cancellations, things come up. Like you're always pretty.
I try and go with the flow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
The other thing you like to do on trips that I've learned is anything and everything that can be done whilst on a trip, we're doing.
we're gonna like
We're
squeeze
gonna
it
do
in.
3 a.m. call times. We're gonna go every corner of the island. We're gonna get on planes and go to other islands. I love it.
It's worth it though,
It's
right?
fun. No, I don't want to just sit on a beach and like drink a pina colada for a week.
That was
get
the first
bored.
thing you did when you got there, is you got a coconut.
I did get a coconut, not a pina. Yeah, I did. I saw all these people drinking out of the coconut. So I got in. Your match was over, and you had your award ceremony. So I landed, changed, went with you to the award ceremony, and I saw all these people drinking out of a real coconut, and I was like, I need that.
Yeah.
That's like the first thing I got to have while I'm here. So we got to see the sunset, which was awesome. So you were shooting the match in Bali in Uluwatu, which is down kind of on the southern tip of the island.
And you fly into, is it called Dunspar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And so you fly in, and then you're about an hour down to get to Uluwatu, and that's kind of where like the beachy vibe of Bali is. There's more nightlife there. Kind of the resorts are down there, but there's amazing sunsets down there. It's pretty cool. So we were there, got to see the sunset.
Good beaches.
Great beaches. Really cool awards ceremony. They did a great job.
Yeah.
And then the next night we were down there, we had dinner for Phoebe's birthday, her 21st birthday.
Which was beautifully done. I love her parents, by the way. So Phoebe was the match director of the match in Bali, and her parents I actually met in Thailand. because they were the ROs at a match when
What's
I
an
shot.
RO? Let's
An
speak to.
RO is a range officer, so they are in charge of that specific stage in that
Yep.
match.
Yeah.
So I remember shooting, and I had a couple procedurals on that stage because my foot was out of bounds, which you can do that here, but overseas you can't in IPSC. So for every shot you take and your foot is over that fault line is a procedural, and they happened to be on that match, and that's how I met Phoebe's parents. And
There
they
you go.
loved me.
It's like
They
bowling.
loved me.
They loved you, and so they
And
invited
then-
you over to the
So
house.
they invited me, yes.
So they have they have a wonderful house. It was
Oh,
fun.
it's beautiful.
Right on a golf course out there in Bali. It was great.
Yeah. Well, that's how I met them like a few years prior.
Yeah.
And then we heard about the match in Bali. I couldn't make it. I think it was like last year or the year before because of all the COVID drama. And then this year I was like, I'm going to come.
I was
come.
super impressed with Phoebe. Like knowing that she put on that whole match, then I got to see like the ceremony and how she put that all together.
Yeah.
And then we go to her birthday the next night, and it's her 21st birthday. I'm like, whoa! I thought like she was so impressive. Like
'Cause
this
she's
woman
so,
like has done all these amazing things.
Like,
She's like so put
educated,
together.
well-spoken.
Yeah.
Like I would shoot with her here because she came here,
Mm-hmm.
so she would be in Vegas and shoot a few matches with us in California and local. And I was always impressed with her because
Yeah.
she would like shoot in our little clique, and I never knew how young she was.
I mean,
So the whole time I'm like, Phoebe, you could literally be my child.
she's younger than your children. I mean,
You know what?
okay. So we're down in Uluwatu.
Yes.
We're hanging out. We got the match done.
Yes.
We went down to this really cool resort called the Bew, which had this amazing view. We got this awesome room that had its own pool overlooking the ocean and the sunsets and
It
anything
was
else you want?
it was a full moon, so John had to show his full moon.
That's
I
right.
go outside and he's like naked in the pool swimming around, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing in
Listen, you're not going to not. If you got your own pool and it's a full moon.
there?" So yeah. So then
So we did that one. And
we
then
did a poll, like whose full moon was
whose
better.
full moon was better. Did I win that? I think I did.
I think I won. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, we're both winners. So.
Yeah, that's right. So we go from Uluwatu for a couple days, and then we wanted to go up into kind of the center part of the island, which is called Ubud, and we got a villa there, and there was a couple of things that we were going to do. There was a big swing heaven,
Yes.
and we also wanted to try the coffee, like Balinese coffee. There's this famous coffee, like Luwak coffee. Do you know why it's so famous? Why it's so special?
You tell us why it's so
Well, you
special.
tell us.
Well, this coffee, before I went to Bali, I had reached out to some of my friends that had, been out there, and I'm like, okay, what are like the top things that I need to do in Bali that I can't miss? And everyone knows I'm obsessed with coffee, so they're like, you have to go to this coffee plantation. They have like a poop coffee, and I'm like, a what? And they're like, well, this animal like eats the coffee beans and poops it out, and then they make coffee out of it. And I'm like, stop. So, and I really thought they were joking. I didn't look much into it. And I'm like, my friends are such assholes. They're like telling me about this poop coffee. And then I'm in the sauna one night with my loyal friend Connie. And she's like, she goes to Bali all the time. And she was like, you have to try this like coffee. And she tells me, and then I'm like, this is a real thing. So I told you about it. And we went and we saw the animal.
The Luwak.
Yes.
It looks like a mix between kind of like a skunk, cat, badger,
Raccoon.
raccoon. It's nocturnal, so it was like
They sleep during the day, and they eat all the beans, and then they.
Yeah, somehow when they process it, it like takes out some of the acidity. It like I don't know what they were. It does something.
And you guys, this coffee is freaking expensive.
Yeah.
So it's not like, hey, try this coffee. It's $6-7. It's like $50.
Yeah, because that poor old woman has to go there and pick it all up and then clean it and then cook it.
Yeah.
You got to cook it.
I did get to cook it, and I think I almost started a fire.
Yeah. And then
So they were like, get her out of here.
And then you were hot dogging on a stick, girl, and like smashing the beans after you cook them.
Yeah.
And then
It's a whole process.
it was pretty cool.
We spent a lot of money there.
Yes.
on coffee, and the whole goal was to bring the coffee back home. But I'm such an animal. I drank most of the coffee
Yeah, I think we drank
there.
almost all of it before we even
came
left.
back with, I think, 1 box. So every morning I'm like, babe, will you make me that coffee?
I did.
It was
Yeah.
so good. Not the poop coffee. We did not buy that, but we did try it.
It was good.
It wasn't bad.
It was fine.
I think I just couldn't get past knowing where it came from, and it was like a little stronger than I like.
Yeah.
I'm more like sweet.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I'm straight black coffee,
Yeah.
which it was good, but it was strong.
Yeah.
So we were there, and then the next day, so the villa was cool. We had this one villa where it was like 5 separate, like little mini houses almost surrounding this pool with a shared
So Villa
shared
Vana,
kitchen.
and they have 5 separate houses.
Oh yeah, I wasn't there yet. We were at the villa
okay.
in Abood.
Oh, yes,
And
yes.
that one had like the 5 separate rooms that had the
Oh,
pool.
yeah.
And that was pretty cool.
And it comes with like a chef,
Yep.
which was really nice. So I think typically the villas run about like 500 a night, but you guys, there's 5 rooms plus the chef. So if everyone kicks in like $100 a night,
Yeah.
it's such an amazing deal.
Yeah, and it's really nice. It was like
Yes.
modern, clean, like brand new. It was nice.
Yeah, we'll throw up some video and pictures so you guys can see. And then if you don't have to cook,
Yeah, it was great.
yeah. Did you like the food
Overall,
overall?
a lot of fried food. I ate a lot of noodles for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
They're proud of their noodles and fried rice for breakfast.
Yes. JJ would be in heaven.
Yeah, no, I thought of JJ a lot. I had a lot of noodles, which was, yeah, and then the pancakes were awesome.
I did love the banana pancakes.
Their bananas in general are pretty, like, they're good.
They're like
smaller.
little mini bananas.
Yeah, but they're good.
And they bring their bananas on boats, which is a no-go here. Like, you never bring a banana on a boat. It's like bad luck.
Is that really a thing?
It's really a thing. Like, our captain,
So what happened? Why?
I brought a banana on a boat, and JJ told me not to. He's like, no bananas on the boats. It's bad luck. And the captain had said too, but I'm like, this is
But is that just
ridiculous.
JJ? Because JJ loves to.
No,
like,
he
mess
loves
with
to
you.
give me shit, but
Yeah.
I Googled it, and it's really a thing.
So you're not supposed.
So I'm hiding on the boat in Key West because we go lobstering every year. And I happen to put a banana in my bag. And usually we share a cooler, but I was trying to do a little sneaky sneak and put it in my bag and wanted a banana. So I'm hiding in the like little undercarriage, like eating my banana. I look up and there's JJ with the phone taking a photo of me, taking a bite of my banana.
Wow.
And he goes, seriously, I told you no bananas on the boat. And I was like, come on, whatever. So I eat the banana, throw the peel in my bag, and make it a day. That night, our captain gets in a horrible accident on a one-wheel or Segway thing, whatever it is. He has to get airlifted to the hospital, fractures his entire jaw, has his mouth wired shut for months, and almost freaking died.
All because you brought a banana on the boat.
That's what they said. I came in to have dinner. I feel so bad. I love you, Stuart. And by the way, Stuart did not come back this year, so it's probably because I brought the banana on the
Probably.
boat. So I come into the room and they're like, Stuart's going in for surgery. It's really bad. And everyone's sitting around the table and they're like, we talked to him, we talked to his wife, and she knows that you brought the banana on the boat. And
So
I
it's
was
like a thing, like-
what? They made me feel so freaking bad. And then clearly Stuart didn't say that, but it is a thing. Yeah.
So you're not supposed to bring a banana on the boat. We had a
So-
banana on the boat.
I know. I'm going to show
They
the
brought
banana.
bananas on the boat.
The captains brought. So I'm wondering if it's just not a thing
Like
there.
yeah, maybe it's like an American
But like Stuart is a professional fisherman, like wins
thing. And you don't bring
matches
bananas.
And he's like, no, you don't. So yeah, we should do a poll.
Yeah.
So it's a thing. Okay, so anyway,
So we're in Abood.
yes.
We just got done drinking poo coffee. And then we're like, let's head to Swing Heaven.
And
That
they
was
wanted
pretty cool.
to, yeah, it was really cool. And they wanted to take us to the rice fields before so we could see a lot of the plantations, which were like absolutely beautiful. And it's incredible, like actually how rice is made. I didn't know the process was that intense.
It is pretty intense.
And our driver, Dickie, bless his heart.
Oh, Dickie.
He goes, "You guys don't have rice fields in
In Las
Vegas?"
Vegas.
I'm like, "No, Dickie, we don't grow rice out there."
No, no rice out here, Dickie. We got to
So-
get Dickie out here someday.
I know. I'd love to like treat him and his wife.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. We should
Yeah.
do that. Bring him out.
Yeah.
Dickie was probably
He's
the
never
highlight
left.
of the trip.
He's never left
Bali. No.
Bali.
I know.
I'm like, "You haven't hopped over to other islands and
No.
adventured?" And he said no.
No, he's been on a motorcycle across Bali, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dickie was the highlight of the trip, I think, for me.
100%.
He's so good.
Yeah.
So when you go to Bali, you need
A driver.
So it's expensive to get to Bali, and then
Yes.
once you're at Bali, it's a lot cheaper there. The resorts are pretty cheap. Massages, you get a massage for like $17.
Yeah, $10 to $17. But I'm not like a fan of, I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan of the massages there.
Did you not get a full service one?
What? Like a happy ending?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Did you?
Well, that's why I thought they were so great.
Stop it. Did she touch your wiener?
No. And I was in the room with you the whole time.
That's true, but you never know. They could do like
Just
a
be
little
quiet
reach
about
around
it.
or whatever. But yeah, so I was not a fan of the massage. Even like for $17, I'm like, I just can't lay here because it's not great. And we
Yeah.
tried a bunch of different places. We even went to like a spa. So just not like a huge fan of the massage there.
Yeah, but it's cheap. A lot of people love it. A lot
Yeah.
of people they go. So when you get to Bali, like you can find rooms for pretty cheap, and they're nice rooms for
Like
pretty
30
cheap.
bucks a night.
$30 a night. You can get a massage for $17. The food's pretty cheap. Drivers, like if you find a great driver, hold on to that driver for like $100. You could like the entire day to
I
have.
think it's like 70. We paid him a lot.
Tipped him more. I mean, he
So-
was super like he tried to give me all of it back.
Yeah. So average, I think, to hire a driver for an entire day is anywhere from 50 to 70 US dollars.
Yeah, but you find a good one, and if you are going, look up Dickie. Dickie's the best.
We'll share his info if anyone is headed to Bali because
Yeah,
he's
he's the
definitely
best.
worth it. And the difference between him and a lot of other drivers, because we had other friends there, is they'll take you to places like, for example, we went to the monkey forest and drivers will take you and then you're kind of on your own. Well, he actually got out and he would walk and give us information like an actual tour guide. So we're looking at our friends and they're like, "How did you guys get photos so fast?" And we're like, we just point at Dickie. We're like, "We have the best driver ever."
We did, and
I'm like, "Where's your driver?" And they're like, "He's in the car."
He was so outgoing. He asked us so many questions. He asked us, "How many times do we try to make a baby a day?" I was like, "Not enough, Dickie. 3 times a day." And then he said I used to be fat. And
Oh yeah,
because he
so
looked
the
at my
next
Instagram
day,
page.
he looks at John's Instagram and he comes back the next day because we had him with us the majority of the time. He goes, we get in the car and he goes, "John, you used to be fat." And John's like, "What?" He goes, "I saw your Instagram. You used to be fat."
I wasn't like fat, but I was okay. I was bigger, Dickie. What do you want? Where are you going? And he's like, "How did you get in shape?" He was like asking me my diet.
Yeah.
He wanted to know what workouts he should be doing. But Dickie was the best.
Yeah,
I miss Dickie.
I do too. He asked me, he goes, "You had babies? Did you have plastic surgery on your stomach?" And I'm like, "No, I did not."
Straight up,
Which-
just asked you how old you were.
Yeah, he was like, "Well, how old are you?" And I'm like, "What?" Like this guy asked all the questions that you do not ask a female.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I
right
loved
away.
it. I just I shared.
Yep.
So
But then he was walking around the monkey forest with us, taking pictures for us,
Yes.
walking up the temple. He's trying to bribe other people at the temple to see if we can get in front of the line, which we should talk
Right.
about. So, all right.
yes.
So
do we have that photo of the temple?
So that was at Lampuyong.
Yes.
So that's on the far east side of the island.
If you want to see this temple, you guys, it's probably one of the most famous temples.
The gateway to heaven,
Yes.
they call it.
We're going to be honest here. There's no water below the sides there.
I know.
It's like a trick photo that they put a mirror under the
Yeah,
iPhone.
they just hold the iPhone up. They take your phone and then they put
They
like
put
a
a
little
mirror
mirror
under there.
underneath it like
So
that.
I'm like, where's the water? There's no water.
I know.
And if you don't get there at the butt crack of dawn, just plan on waiting for 3 hours for that one photo.
Yeah, we got there. So we were in. We're a little out of order on our trip, but it doesn't really matter. So by the time we got from Abood over to, is it Simeon? Not Seaman. Seaman?
Cedarman.
Cedarman. Yeah, I was way off. Samsonite. I was way off. Cedarman. So we went from Uluwatu to Abood to Cedarman, which is where Velavana was, which we'll talk about. And then from there, we went over to Lampuyong to see the temple. But that's like a 2-hour drive from where we were, from Cedarman.
Was it that long?
Yeah.
I feel like it was maybe an hour and a half. I know we got up at like 3.
We got up at 3, got in the car by like 4, and then got there at 6.
I probably slept on you.
Yes. So 2 hours to get there. So, because it's kind of like go there the night before and stay
Yes, I agree.
somewhere in that area. Then you can get up really early because you want to be there by like 5. If you can be there
agree.
at 5, you'll get one of the first numbers, and then you can get your shot and get out.
Get out of there. But then you don't get oh man, it's so hard because the big thing with that is a lot of people want the mountain in the background.
Right. So there's all these, like on the other side of like the temple where you're standing, behind you is a big, amazing mountain. I don't know what it's called. I should probably know that. But
Yeah.
it's really beautiful mountain.
Yes.
But it's constantly under cloud cover. You can't you can rarely see it. So it was coming in and out the whole day while we were there. And I think during our photo time,
The clouds went over and I was so bummed, but we got other photos where you could actually see the mountain,
That's
which
right.
I was happy. And it was way better. Like my girlfriend went and it was all like gray. So I like the way that our photo turned out. But it took 3 hours
3
of
hours.
waiting to get that photo. And I think we were number 80.
Yeah, so you get there at 6, which is like the doors open, I think, at 6, and then they give you numbers as you're coming in.
But ladies, before they give you a number, they want to make sure that you are not on your period.
That's right. There's
So
rules
they ask,
at the temple.
They ask, "Are you bleeding?" And I'm like, "Are you bleeding?" And then he bumps me, and you look, and it's like a legitimate rule
Yes.
that you can't have given birth within a certain amount of time, and
Yep.
you cannot be menstruating.
That's right. And then there's a lot of other rules.
you're not
no
allowed
kissing,
in.
not
No
not allowed to
kissing in the
kiss.
temple.
No. No touching of the dragon tail, which you were sitting on.
It was early.
And you have to wear one of their, what's it called? It's an outfit.
sarong.
A sarong. You have to wear like their sarong. And then they gave you 2 sarongs because
They did not.
you
He's
were
lying.
not covered up enough.
For some reason, you have to wear I was wearing leggings and a white shirt with my shoulders covered. For some reason, you have to wear the sarong, but you can show your midsection. So you can show off your stomach, but you have to wear a sarong and the shoulders have to be covered. So
I think you
were
were the only sarong with the slit up.
there were other women that were, like bigger women and their stomachs are like hanging out. And they don't care about that.
No, they didn't care about
No.
that. Now, if you were to go again to get that photo, we saw some people with their own like custom dressings, like
Yes.
sarongs that were like
Yeah, so
really cool.
I would suggest purchasing your own before you go, so you're not in the same one that everyone else is in.
Yeah, so when you buy a ticket, they give you the sarong. They
Mm-hmm.
have like a box of sarongs that everyone wears all day, and so you're putting on a sarong
And
that
you
someone
hope
had
that
just
they've
wore.
washed them.
Yeah, but and they have like the same they have like 5 different patterns you can choose. So you pick your color.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have their own custom ones, and there's like areas around the temple where you can buy your
Right.
own thing.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it looks cooler. So if you were to do it again, I would recommend.
Bringing your own.
Yeah, go get one.
And I would stay close by.
Yeah, and get up early and do it.
Yes.
There's some other cool things to do there, but like you don't want to be there for 3 hours if you can avoid it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you want to talk about
There
Bellevue?
is a little restaurant close
Yeah.
by. So if you walk out of the temple and walk directly down the big mountain that you have to climb up to get in there, they have amazing pancakes and coffee.
They do. And then you got some other cool little photo opportunities there, right?
Yes.
So you can get that done. And you got the mountain view.
But there's no cheating it. We tried to bribe the photographer with $100 to get us in early. We tried to switch tickets. We tried to hop in with a group, but they write the number on the ticket when you go in. So if you want to make a little extra cash, when you walk in, you can say there's 4 people in your group, and then you could always bring on 2 people if you're feeling charitable.
There you go.
Yeah. So that would have been nice because we tried to hop on with another couple, but they had already written 2 on their ticket, so they knew there were only 2 people in their party.
Right. I love how you were scheming the entire time.
I was just trying to get my
you had
hustle
number
on
84,
and wiggle in and out.
You were ready to try to get to number 2. You were like, Dickie, I'll give you $100. He'll give you $100 if you can get someone in to switch numbers.
Yeah.
Dickie's running around. He was like so nice and polite, trying to get. We had one couple that were trying to help us out from Spain.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were a cute couple. Didn't work.
No,
Didn't work.
So let's talk about one of the highlights of the trip.
Okay.
Velavana.
What was your favorite house?
So Velavana first is like an eco-friendly resort in Sedaman.
Yes.
That is like up in the rice fields and mountains of Bali, kind of like central east Bali. And they have these their whole concept is they have these big houses. There's 5 different houses, all with unique kind of features. My favorite, so we got to be in 3 of the houses.
We did 4 of the 5.
We did 4?
Yeah.
Which was the 4th
Owl.
one?
I went in the owl house. You didn't.
Oh, that's right.
Because you were like, get out of there.
You're in the wrong house.
But I'm like, since I'm
like,
in here, I'm going to look
go
around.
Check it out. Yeah. So, 4 of the 5 houses. They were, I kind of liked, maybe Scorpion was pretty cool. So they all have unique features. I think they all have a water feature.
They all have, yes, a pool.
So the one that we stayed, the Octopus house has a pool on top of like right where you sleep, below you. You're sleeping below, and you're looking up through a glass bottom of the pool. Mm-hmm. Some pretty sweet views.
Yes.
For you. You got some sweet views. Looking up from bed into the pool. And then awesome views out to kind of the rice fields. Mm-hmm. They all have that great view out. One had was it Scorpion that has the bed that moves, and then you can open up. There's like a little trap door under the bed, so the bed slides over. You open the trap door, and then you go down into the pool.
That one is. I'm gonna look right now, because the bed moves in 2 of them. And so we have like the Scorpio house and the Cobra house.
Cobra, and then there was Owl, which had like.
That was the pool was off to the side.
Yep. And then there's cool like netting in there too. So there's some of these are like, one was like 3 stories.
The Cobra's 3 stories.
And so up on the top and in the and in the middle,
there's 2 beds.
There's 2 beds in that one.
Yes.
That's right. And then there's nets that you can that lay in and take. There's really cool like photo ops there. A lot of photos. A lot of BTS boyfriend action going on at the Velavana.
Yeah.
All the angles.
So the bed does move in the Cobra house as well. Like it's on a remote.
Got it. Yeah. So that's right. And I get them confused because they had so many. All of them had so many features. Like the Octopus had a little elevator in it. Mm-hmm. Octopus had the 2 toilets.
Yes, the his and her toilets. I think we have a photo of that, which we were talking about going to the bathroom. Like, when do you go to the bathroom in front of your partner? And we decided never. But in this house, it's inevitable, especially when you're there a few days.
That's right. Because it's all out in the open. So that's the other thing, too. They're all out in the open. You don't like walk into a house. We say house, but you're not like, it's basically like a tree house.
Right.
It's all open. There's not a door. But you have your own like area. Like you feel like you're in your own private area. They do a great job of kind of making you feel like you're secure, but you're secluded. Yeah, and you're secluded. And even though there's like 4 houses next to you, you don't feel them.
Right. Unless they have drones. Unless they're like flying their drones around.
Yeah, there are a couple of drones. It's definitely like a place that people want to get that like aerial shot of them at, which we got a lot of.
We did. But they do have a rule, just so you know, which
Yeah.
they let us know when we checked in, that if you do travel there with a drone, you have to let them know before you fly your drone out of to be courteous to the other guests in the other houses. So, it just ensures their privacy if
Yeah.
they want to lay out like topless or naked. There's not, that there's, hey, this house is going to be flying a drone, so you can put on your clothes or not.
Put your clothes on or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, up to you.
So
The staff was awesome there.
the
They're
food
super
was
friendly.
delicious.
Yes, and we got to have breakfast in a floating table and in the pool. Look at how.
Yeah, these are just like little snippets of, is that even a word? Snippets?
Yeah, you just made it.
The different houses. Yeah. Okay, so is this a place that you would go back to?
Yes, I would go back here. Like it was so cool. Like there was the only thing I didn't get to do besides getting a tattoo that I kind of wanted to do is like that area is kind of like yoga, meditation.
Oh, yes.
It would have been really cool to like do like a yoga meditation session out there in the middle of nowhere, especially because we were there during the blue supermoon,
Yes.
which is not coming back until when?
2030 something?
7.
2037?
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about it on our last show.
And I think we said it was like they were like 7 years
But
apart.
it's not.
It's a lot longer.
It was like a big deal.
Yeah.
So I say we go back in 2037.
Okay.
That should be a goal. Oh God, that's a long ways away.
Yeah.
But
2037?
yeah,
You're going to still be with me then?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
If you play your cards right.
Oh, all right. Cool. So Velavana was awesome. Big highlight
I would
of
go
the
back.
trip.
I would go back to Velavana.
I would too. It's really cool. It's a very unique experience.
Yes.
It was like, okay, because what I think about a lot is
And if you are there, I would definitely check out Swing Bali or Swing Heaven.
yeah, Swing Heaven's really cool. It's
Yes.
in Ubud. Yeah, I would recommend. So for Bali at large, I would recommend a couple of different locations. If I'm honest, I don't know. The beaches were like okay. Now we didn't go to like where there's like really prime surfing in Uluwatu. Like there's some really cool surf spots in Bali. We didn't do that as part of this trip. So there's probably some really great beaches that have that. But the beaches,
Because they are known for their surfing.
yeah.
Yes.
But the beaches that I would say I've experienced better beaches in like Hawaii or even like the Caribbean, but not for surfing, but just like as far as like a beach. If you want to go hang out on a beach, that's your vibe, that's your whole vacation, and you're here in the States, I would recommend some other islands that are closer and save the 30 hours in flying.
Yes.
But Bali is so big and diverse, and there's so many cool different areas like the rice fields. If that's your vibe, to do like a Velavana, totally worth 30 hours.
But no, if you're there, like in the rice fields, there's no beaches.
No beaches. No,
Yeah.
and you're
So
hours from the beach.
yeah, so it's like being in Vegas, you're driving 4 hours to California to lay on a beach.
Yeah.
So that's what I would compare it to.
But you're getting like this. This is what you're looking at. You're looking out at very lush. There's mountains. There's the clouds. It's really cool.
It's really beautiful. So after, I say yes to Velavana again.
I would say that.
If we go back to Bali.
I agree.
And then we decided to fly over to another island because I've always been obsessed with Komodo dragons.
I know. So they only live on like 5 islands.
And they're all in Indonesia.
Right. So there's an island called Komodo Island.
Yes.
Right. But you can't stay there. It's just like wildlife out there.
Yes. So there's no place to sleep. So you have to you have to fly to this island, and then you need to charter a boat, which takes another 2 hours, and that's only if you have like a speedboat to get to the island where the Komodo dragons are. And then there's no guarantee that you're even going to see the dragons, which we didn't know until we got there, and I about lost my shit.
Yeah. Well, there was a little bit of like, babe, let's just walk and see if we find one. Like, I think we're gonna see one. Feeling
I'm like,
really
what do
good.
you mean walk? Like, we paid all this money to come here, And what do you mean there's no guarantee? And they're like, well, they're wild animals. Like,
So
they come out early in the morning and we're there and it's like 3 in the afternoon, hot as fuck.
So they definitely hyped that up as part of like the Bali experience, is to see the Komodos, right, and the manta rays, right? And
I don't feel like they did.
I thought that was like when we got there was like definitely like the tourist type things of like telling you the
Because
things to go
I've
do.
talked to people that have been to Bali quite a few times and no one knows about the Komodo dragons.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we.
I think I'm just a weirdo
I was
with
searching the wrong
reptiles.
thing. Maybe because you had said it, I just looked it up, and then it felt like
A
it was like
touristy
it was like the
thing.
thing that everybody was doing.
I think on that specific island for sure, like that's
yeah.
what they're known for.
Yeah, but you have to. So you fly
But
from.
nobody speaks English there either.
No.
It's very minimal English, so that was a challenge in
Yeah.
its own.
So it was Labuan Bajo. So you fly an hour from Bali to Labuan Bajo, and then we stayed at the hotel. Was nice. It was
Yes.
nice. The beaches weren't that great there. It's more about the resort pool and just being there.
I wouldn't recommend going in the beach.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
It was, and this is another thing that like John and I actually talked about that we're like, should we share? And I'm like, I think that we should definitely share, is because what happens is we have like all these influencers sharing like the highlights and the best of the best. So it's kind of misleading because I was like under the impression, like I was so excited to see the pink sand beach. We're going to go back to the Komodos in a minute, but I was so excited to see the pink sand beach, and you get there and you're like, wait a minute. This is
Right.
not what I saw in the photo, because influencers edit everything.
Yeah.
And it's such a like, it's so unfair, right?
It is. So just they package these trips up, right? So when you get to Labuan Bajo, like you go get a boat, right? And you can either be in a group boat or get your own like fast boat, which is what we opted to do.
Pay the money and get the fast
Get
boat,
your own
you guys.
boat. Yeah, otherwise you're stuck on a boat with like 30 other people.
For almost 4 hours.
Yeah, so then they take you to a few different locations on this. So you leave Labuan Bajo, you go to this island. I can't remember the name of the island, but you hike up and you get to see 3 different beaches, right? The pink beach, the gray beach, and the white beach.
It's the only place in the world where you have 3 beaches pretty much connected, and they have all different color sands.
Right, and it's pretty cool.
It is cool.
You do notice the pink. It's not like
But it's
not
not as
flamingo
bright
pink.
as you see like on Instagram.
Right.
Which I called out a few people that had posted it, and I'm like, hey man, I just got back from there and it was not that pink, and there was no green on the mountains. It was complete desert.
Yeah, I agree. So we went from there then to Pink Beach, which is where we went there and we hung out there for about an hour and a half.
Probably a little longer.
Probably a little longer. Got a lot of content.
Yes,
a lot
I
of
did.
content. Got sand fleas. And
I got bit.
You did.
And she thought I was lying. He was like, just sit there. And I'm like, I can't sit. I'm getting bit.
So going to Pink Beach is pretty. There, it is cool. Like you go there and it's its own island, but it's
desert, you
it's
guys.
a desert. It's like desert meets a little bit of sand, a little strip of sand, and then the water. The water's really pretty.
The
and
water's
blue
beautiful.
and clear.
People don't pick up their trash like they do in
No.
other areas.
So it's like desert, trash, beach, water.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as pink as. There's definitely like a pink hue to it, and
Yes.
and I also think
Which we'll share like that. Actually, we might have a video. Do you guys have a video of the pink sand beach? Let's do the one that's unedited,
that's the unedited one right there.
which doesn't even really look pink at all until it pulls back.
Yeah.
So once the water kind of hits it, then you're like, oh, I see a pink hue. But I feel like if you saw that, you wouldn't think, oh, she's on a pink sand beach until it gets pulled way back.
Yeah,
right?
and yeah, because that's like when you're there live, you see it, and it does look more pink than like a photo would show.
And then
at
let's
times.
show the edited.
And then this is like what?
This is what we posted on Instagram.
Yeah, there's the.
And it's just all it is the photo is saturated, and that's why it looks so tan, and then it looks really pink.
But then when people like photographers take a picture of this beach, they definitely
make
edit
it
it.
like
I mean,
way more
looks
pink than I did.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I mean I did make it more pink.
That one, I played with that one a little bit more just to emphasize for the conversation because a lot of people play. Your post isn't quite as pink.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
but you
like, I
can
don't
play
feel
with
like
it to
was
make it
that
look
edited.
that pink.
Yeah. So I just think that for families that are like, if that's your thing and you're really excited to see this beach, like I just know if I was excited about my trip and paid money to go here, I would be very disappointed. So I just don't ever want to be misleading.
Yeah.
In our travel reviews.
No, I agree. I think that's the right call. I mean, look, so the trip itself, like to go see the Komodos, it was pretty cool to see. I mean, it was something you really wanted to do. Like for a long time, you wanted to see the Komodos.
Because it's the only place in the world.
It is the only place. Look at these things.
Yeah, you guys, these are like freaking dinosaurs. I mean, look at his tongue. Like, if this guy bites you, it's a game over.
Game over, yeah, because they have like a ton of venom. They have one of the most effective bites in wildlife.
Oh, gosh.
They'll bite like a deer, and it will take a few days, but the deer will just from one bite they'll be done.
And then they devour.
And then
they just swallow.
That's it. They can eat like a whole like goat in one swallow.
Yeah, I sent photos to my daughter, and she's like, he can swallow you whole.
It is like when you're that close to him, you're like, oh. This thing could eat me if it wanted to.
Our guide was amazing, though. He let us get really close, and at one point I did get nervous. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
And he was like, give me your phone.
Yeah, you got
so
real
I was
close.
like, ooh.
That was cool.
I was like excited, but like, this could be it for me.
Yeah. And then from there we went and saw
And they're fast.
They are fast. They move.
They look like, they're slow, but at any point they could fucking getcha.
You were so excited. It was cool to see you.
I get like excited just looking at them.
See, so you think about the day. So they take you to these 4 different spots on this trip, and it takes like 6 hours all in.
It's like all day.
It's like an all day thing. I could have gone to just take us to the Komodos. Let's see them and come back, right? Which would been probably. But then from the Komodos we went to the manta rays, which I will say it's pretty cool to swim with the manta rays. Now when you get there, it's like tourist trap. There are people all over the place, and they don't care about like diver safety there at all. There's no flags.
There's no dive flags.
I got out into the water and went to turn to come like from behind the boat, and a boat went speeding right by, and I was like, I could have been like 20 seconds earlier. I would have been right there in that water. But anyway, so that kind of freaks you out a little bit because there's just so much going on the surface, but when you finally get down and you see a manta ray and you're snorkeling over them, it's like so peaceful. They're like flying in water, if that makes sense.
They're massive.
They're huge. They're like, there's something like their wingspan goes like almost this whole studio.
It's like, it'd take up the whole room.
It's crazy.
John's like, get in. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, he didn't want to come in. I was surprised. Why didn't you want to go in?
Because there were so many freaking people out there and crowded. I'm like, man.
It was intense, and then you get kind of far from the boat, and then you're like, I don't want to get too much distance from me and the boat because if another boat comes and they're not paying attention. It's crazy.
I think from like diving is hard enough for me, and I go every year and kind of push myself to go lobstering. So I've always kind of had this fear of water, and I just felt like the safety protocols weren't really like on point there.
No, I agree with that. And the water is very different. So the water in the Keys, very warm and like a greenish kind of, but clear. And you're only going down like maybe 8 to 10 feet tops, really.
It's pretty shallow.
Yeah.
In the Keys.
And this was like dark blue water.
Deeper.
Super deep, kind of cold, a little, not really cold, but colder than Florida water was.
Yeah.
And so it just gives that vibe of like, oh, there's it's a little more ominous down there, right? But then when you
you got back in to see more.
I did. I jumped in again to see more.
So you must have liked it in there.
It was cool. Cause like I said, once you're like hovering above one and they're just like flying underwater, they're flat. It's like, it's pretty cool. Like I wish I had brought I didn't get any pictures of that.
Yeah, we can pull some video because we had our GoPro.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So then we get back to the place but let's see. Like you piled it on too, by the way. Let's talk about let's just do a day in the life of Jamie for a minute. Wake up at 3 a.m. Get in a car, drive 2 hours to the temple.
Okay.
3 hours at the temple.
Okay.
2 hours back to the resort for another quick 2 hours of photos. Get them as many as we can. Get in the car.
Few outfit changes in there.
Few outfit changes. Yeah.
For some of the brands.
Absolutely. Yeah. Some BTS content, a couple bloopers in there. Absolutely. Then from there you go 2 hours down to the airport. Then an hour flight to another island. Then about a 30-minute drive to the hotel. To then wake up in a few hours.
Well, we got a massage that night too.
Yeah,
I'm
get
like,
a
hey,
massage.
Let's throw it in there.
Get a massage in.
We got a long day.
Few hours later, you're back up on a boat.
Yeah.
I love it.
We crushed it.
We did. That was a big day.
Yeah. We got
But
so
every
much
day was
done.
kind of like that.
It was, and I love it.
It was a great trip.
I love it. And I can't say I hate any part of it. I don't mind getting up early. Like, I just love the adventure. I
Yeah.
love, like, seeing new things. I get so excited.
Me too. Me too. While we were out on the boat, there were all these other little islands, right? Out there, and it made me think, if you get stranded out here on one island, and you could have one song to listen to for the rest of your life, one song, what would it be?
I know what yours is going to be.
What's mine going to be?
It's going to be a Billy Idol song.
I mean, that's a great call, but I already know.
I'm going Morgan Wallen all the way.
You're going Morgan Wallen
You
to be
know-
like, that's going to be what you're going to listen to for the rest. One song.
Maybe Taylor Swift.
A Taylor Swift song, one song.
What are you doing?
I have it. There's a debate. There's two.
Okay.
There's two songs that come to mind. It's either Stairway to Heaven
Okay.
or November Rain.
Oh, I love that.
They're both
so
super long
when we
songs.
come back on our next show, you're going to have your song and I'm going to have my song. So I'm going to listen and I'm going to decide what song I'm going to play on repeat.
Okay.
And I'll let you know.
All right.
So I'm sure there's like so much more we can share about Bali.
Yeah.
But
Would you go back?
I would go back if I could shoot another match. Yes, if there was a match in Bali, I would go back for the match, and then I would stay an additional week to potentially adventure a little more. But that I wouldn't book a trip to go back to explore Bali. No.
Got it.
Yeah, but if there was a match, 100%. What about you?
I kind of rate it as like, would I go back tomorrow? Would I go back after I see some other places, or would I not go back at all? I think Bali's I'd go back, but it's not like on my priority list to go back before I go see some other things.
Because it just takes so long.
It's like 30 hours
yeah.
to get there. And if I get that, like,
It's 2 days.
if I want that like tropical kind of vibe, there's places that are closer that we could go to.
Yeah.
So
upcoming, we
What's next?
have we're going to Paris.
yeah, why are we going to Paris?
We are going to Paris because we are shooting for a publication there. So I'm really excited. And yeah, so stay tuned for our photo shoot. It's going to be fun.
I'm really
I don't want to
excited to
give too much away.
Me neither. I'm excited to go to Paris with you, though.
But yeah, my last experience in Paris wasn't so great. So I'm really excited about this one with you.
Is there anything on your like must-do list in Paris?
I do want to see the Louvre.
You do?
I do.
That's great.
And I know it's kind of like touristy and potentially Moulin Rouge.
Okay.
What about you?
Wherever you want to go. I just want to go with you.
You're so good to me.
Whatever you want
So
to do.
if you guys have any comments, suggestions, feel free to slide into our DM. We also have a shared page, and it's called Always on Adventures. But you feel free to send questions to John or I on our personal pages. Mine is Jamie_Villamore. And what is yours?
Grayjon, Grayjon.
Yeah. And we want to give a big shout out to let's share this little
Let's look at this thing.
surprise we have here.
Just got this thing.
Yeah. So while we were in Bali, we had Man Crates reach out to us. Is that what it's called, Man Crates?
Man crates, yep.
Yes. So we decided to do an unboxing on the show. So we have not opened this. This is, you guys are seeing it as we do. It has this tool. Do you want to hold
Yeah, this
the
thing's
tool?
like legit. Look, it's like
And
a
it's
real,
heavy.
like,
It's like a
crate.
heavy,
And it's
like,
got like a
let's tip it over so
little
they
mini
can see
crowbar
it.
that comes with it. Here, hold on. I'll pull it out.
There we go.
Pull this thing out.
And And don't forget your mic, babe, because they can't hear you.
Oh, yeah.
So let's dump this guy.
All right, let's see if I can.
And we heard it's like not super easy to get into, which is kind of cool. It's like man shit.
So do it. Yeah, let's see what you got.
I'm gonna put on my flannel
Let's
for
see.
this.
All right. You gonna crack this thing open?
Yeah.
So it comes with
gonna
this little
try.
mini crowbar thing, and it's like, it's solid wood.
Yeah. I don't even know how I'm gonna open this. We'll just
You
do
good?
one arm.
You're gonna
and
go
flannel.
one arm flannel. All right. You're gonna have one strong arm.
Jeez. All right.
You're gonna okay. I'm gonna just watch.
Do you know what
you
I'm
want me to help?
doing?
Do I know what you're doing? Do you know what you're doing?
No, I don't. I'm gonna let you. I'm
Go in
gonna
the
let
middle.
you do
Go
the
in
honors.
the middle. Just do it in the middle. But no,
this?
down here.
Why there?
Because at the corners, it's harder to get in.
You guys, they have this thing. You know, here you go.
All right, so let's see.
It's
now.
pretty hard to get in there.
Let's see here. Is there
Maybe I can stand up and do it.
yeah. Let's see here. This thing is pretty lit. Yeah. You might need like a hammer, actually.
You guys don't
Oh,
make
wait,
this
hold on.
easy. It's really fun though. What a great gift idea.
It is cool. I've got it here. Okay.
Whoa.
All right.
What if there's like an animal in there? It's alive.
Okay, so we got some. Here, I guess I'll try to do it this way so you can kind of see. Some foam. Oh, nice. I got my name on this thing.
Look at that.
John, barrel-aged fine whiskey.
Oh
Take
my
a look at that thing.
gosh.
You see
Babe,
that
we're going to
thing?
have to pop this out for your 40th.
I know. It's coming up here. Picked a
How
hell of a time to stop
exciting.
drinking. Oh, I got my name on the glasses,
What?
too. Look at that thing. Got 2 glasses.
What a legit gift.
Then it comes with a top.
I'm so glad I didn't open this and I brought it here.
That's awesome.
Packaged nice and safe
Some
and
coasters.
legit.
Oh, so this makes ice sphere molds.
Wow. Like the balls?
Yeah, ice balls. Then some nuts.
Let me
So
see
you need
those
some
nuts.
with your whiskey.
Oh, butter toffee almonds.
Citrus chili cashews.
You guys,
This box is legit. And you get another coaster, and then you get some pistachios, and then
for all those that have been following me a long time, you know that I'm not like a big drinker. I'm going to start. I might have to start.
you might. I mean, if it looks like that, and it's got my name on
Right?
it. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And then it's a book, 33 glasses of whiskey, a pocket whiskey tasting journal. So it's got like
That's so
the
cool.
name. You could give all your description of what you like.
Get a good Japanese whiskey.
That's what I want.
Really? We had that in the Philippines.
I like Japanese whiskeys, but I like scotches too. Are you
Okay.
more of a scotch? Yeah, you don't really like.
I
you
don't know
really-
what I am. I just know when I tried the whiskey, it burned going down.
So apparently these guys they do like custom crate. Or they
Crates.
do everyone's different, right?
Yes,
Like all of them
so
are
you
different.
can customize the gift, but I love the presentation.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
And then they
it's
just
so
have
brilliant.
they have their own like. Do they have like a subscription model type thing too, where you always get a new crate? with
They
new
do.
stuff?
We're going to look into it and we'll link the information below. But shout out to Willem. Thank you so much for this amazing gift. It's awesome.
Thank you. Love having my name on it. It's awesome. So cool.
All right, guys.